Hello, I'm Toycat and welcome back to another live stream on the internet. Today's live stream is going to involve mining a lot of icebergs, but before I can do any of that, something I realized literally 3 minutes before the stream started is that my pickaxe is very much broken. It's on this much durability, so we need to fix it, right? That's why I'm coming over here to the, the blacksmith area where I fix all this sort of stuff, and I'm going to be fixing up a couple of pickaxes. I'm going to take, this one here, I'm going to take this one here, we're going to get them back up to full, I guess, situation, make full durability, that's the word we're looking for, and yeah, it's going to be a wonderful little thing. So look at that, pickaxe number 1, sorted out. Pickaxe number 2, that one's great too. That cost us a lot, so we might as well go for a third pickaxe as well, because when you're, spending so many levels, it's always worthwhile to do a lot at once, because, why have half measures in this sort of thing? So that's what we're doing today. We're going to grab the third pickaxe, we cannot afford to repair that one. So yeah, we're going to try and repair whatever we can afford to, just while we're over here anyway, because it's always better to, to do as many levels as we can. And I wanted to show you all, just in case you are curious about, so what exactly, does actually go on here. Here is a big part of it. Can I afford this one? It's Silk Touch 5, so probably not. 33 levels, I definitely can't. So yeah, maybe we can't do any more while we're here, but it's something that's always important to consider. Do as many pickaxes at once. Pro tips of Toycat. But yeah, today's stream is not all about those pro tips, although maybe it should be. Instead, today's stream is about the best pro tip. Let's throw the shovel over into this chest over here. Instead, today's stream... Oh, man, I have a chest full of wooden swords. I probably shouldn't do. But yeah, today's stream is instead about mining icebergs, which I'm looking forward to doing. So yeah, hello, I'm Toycat. Welcome back to the live stream. In case you're curious as to how I get from here, this part of the world, over to the other part, over to the icebergs, we do it just like this. Also, hello, everyone. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday evening. It's a bit of a different stream start today, a bit more casual. Because, the truth is with live streams, it's a bit less true on YouTube, but it's still very true, that people don't show up in the first minute because they get pushed out to, subscriptions and notifications and stuff, like a few minutes afterwards. So this is kind of your pre-stream time. This is your opportunity to say things like, yo, from Jose Arando, or no you from Pizza Boy, or get Toycat to 1.2 mil. We are suspiciously close to 1.2 mil. Yeah, 1.1999.5 mil. So yeah, if you want to subscribe, if somehow, oh man, I do not like when this bug happens. It makes me uncomfortable every time. Also, yeah, welcome to the live stream. Hello, Toycat, sup, Cooper Blocks. Yo from Bomi, says JB Studios. Yo, right back to you. Yo from Cameron. What's good, Toycat, says Ambones. I've always liked the greeting, what's good, because I know it just means hello, what's up, etc. But I always like to take it as, what is good, Toycat? And it's like, you know what is good? What's good is waking up in the morning and not being dead. You know what else is good? Those little, just before the stream, what I had is one of those puddings you get in a mug. That was really good, So, in case you're curious, what's good? The little puddings you put in... Again, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's a cake, but you can make it in a mug. It's like a powder you mix with some milk. It just makes a cake. I had one of those. That was wonderful. So, yeah. Also, welcome to the live stream. Hope you're all doing wonderful. We are now officially... It took a little bit of getting, but we're here. And thank you so much to J Davis Bro for deciding to become a sponsor. I believe you're already a sponsor, but for deciding to re-sponsor just now. Thank you very much appreciated. I didn't see that, but I heard that, so I'm assuming you did it. And we made the noise, and the noise is all that matters, right? Anyway, so yeah, we got 2 brand new pickaxes. We've got this one, we got this one, and I'm hoping between the 2 of them, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? I think that might be true. But I'm hoping between the 2 pickaxes, oh no, here we are. We're right over where we want to be, and we're gonna be great. Also, Fear Shadow says, what's good, lol? Fear Shadows, because you asked that after I gave my little rant about, what's good, I'm going to tell you things that are good. So you know what's good? What's good is when you mine in Minecraft, and you get that satisfying, break noise. I would say glass breaking is not the best noise in the world, but it's still pretty solid, right? Oh yeah, listen, I'm going to put some headphones in now, actually. We all love an environmentally friendly YouTuber. I'm just saying, every other YouTuber's out here yeah, you guys, you gotta fix the environment. We gotta have one person being out here saying, yeah, maybe the environment's not so great. What's the environment ever done for you? You live in it, but what else does it do? Nothing, let's make the environment work for us, man, right? Also, Howdy Partner says, not Aiden Jules, but instead, Howdy Partner comes in from Caitlin Wallace. Hey, Howdy Partner right back at ya. I'm from Texas, y'all, and I say howdy. I'm actually going to Texas soon. I'm really hyped. I'm going to Houston, in case you're curious. And it's I don't know. I want to hear one person at least say howdy. I love your channel. Keep playing Minecraft. Love the videos. Here's the funny thing about the Minecraft stuff. A lot of YouTubers are in this like phase of trying out Minecraft because they've heard it's hot again. But like, I've been playing Minecraft for like 7 years on the channel. I don't have any intentions to stop. Obviously, like, it might go in and out of like being the biggest thing in my life, but this channel's always gonna have Minecraft content. That's my promise from me to you. There's gonna be some stuff mixed in there. I think that's the cool thing about this channel. We can mix other things into Minecraft sometimes. But this is the game, this is the only game which I've enjoyed for 7 years straight. You know, and also global warming is the government killing us all, says Rookie Core. See, sometimes people say like global warming is a conspiracy made up by the government. So I like that we've got the opposite side of that. You know, global warming is not a conspiracy. Instead, it is a very much real thing, but it's a whole thing. Also, I missed a few super chats. So I'm gonna go back and get them now. Your mic is on camera. Looking forward to this. Hey, I'm looking forward to it too. I'm always looking forward to streams, and then just before I start, I'm like, oh god, I think I forgot something. So Taco Dirt Shield says you're the best philosopher in the last decade. Exotic Gamer says love your channel, keep up the Minecraft, will do. Let's get to 1.2 million. I agree, Eureka subs, and also Amy Snedden, thank you for the £2 with no message attached. Okay, so we're gonna take all of this packed ice, turn it into blue ice. Throw it in the chest, or the barrel to be more precise. And then also, something I'm going to start doing today, just to save a little bit of like time and space, etc., is I'm going to go ahead and, also we need to get rid of this lapis for some reason. I'm actually going to use the shulker box today, because walking back and forth to this chest is getting, like, it's further and further away each time, so we're gonna have to move things around. Also, Lord Meow Sambo says, hi Toycat, will you try Minecraft Earth? The problem with Minecraft Earth is I need to get a iOS device, and like, I worked out that I have an iPad that I think is compatible, like, you know, from the Mob Crush days. But then, you know, I'm getting like a code for it. So it's a whole big problem is what I'm saying right here. Until it comes out on Android, I don't think I'm going to cover it too much anyway. Because there's one big flaw. There's one fatal flaw in covering Minecraft Earth now. And that's that they're resetting it and that they're changing it over the next few months. So I want to cover the game when it's first out. Maybe on the day of release, like, kind of fresh. I want to go in there with some knowledge from the betas, perhaps. But I want to experience the game the same way you guys might experience it. That's always been my kind of opinion. Also, the Enchanted Gamer says, talk about lobsters. I swear, one of the most popular topics yesterday, I'm not making this up, was lobster talk. People loved lobster talk. Like, man, Toycat, when are we going back to lobsters? And I just think that's the crazy thing about these streams, right? There's no real defined what's going up, what's going down. Things just kind of go in every direction. Also, unsubbed due to global warming hoax garbage. See, that's the best bit. Is global warming the you know, you're unsubscribing because of that guy saying you know, that it was made by the government, or you're unsubscribing because I said some people, you know, like that's the beautiful thing about all of this. But yeah, let's make love, not horses, Brennan Hampton. That should be like our default call sign to each other, right? Like, hey, you know, like how do you know if it's a Toycat player in the game? If you say let's make love, not war, and they say yeah. That could totally be the thing. Because right now, like, when you see Toycat as yes, you're like, ah, it's a fan. That's nice. Next episode, burning the world for global warming. That's a great idea. You know, like, we actually did set a, I think we set a little bit for Jungle on Fire, because I wanted to make a point about deforestation. It was great. It was a wonderful time. But yeah, so to stay at least a little bit on track, I saw a chat comment I really wanted to respond to. Glad you found your channel. You should do a lot more server experiments. I do as many server experiments as I think makes sense. I could milk it and do one every single week of the year, you know, 52 videos a year. I'd make a lot of money doing that and a lot of views and subscribers and stuff. But I prefer doing it when I have an actual experiment to run. I have an idea in mind right now, but I've got to set it up. That's why that's a thing that has to set up. Also, someone says they love the hair. Thank you very much. Honestly, one of the things I think I've learned from, you know, the saga of my hair on the internet, which is, again, I don't know how my hair is controversial, but it falls in that category of things that some people love and some people hate. But yeah, one of the interesting things about the hair saga is I think I'd rather have half of people love me and half of people be like, oh, that's the worst. Because honestly, people who don't like something about something, you know, what value, you know, people like to call them haters, and I think that's simplifying a position. But I mean, like, if you, what do you prefer, when someone likes you or when someone silently doesn't dislike you? It's like, well, I mean, actually, you know, if you have to have hate to get love, then maybe that's worthwhile. So, Cat, make a round where everyone has high levels of slowness. That's a genius idea. We could also set it so everyone has maximum speed. If you don't know, you can use a command to give everyone, like, 2,100 levels of speed or something, and everyone goes too fast for things to function. I guess slowness would probably break the server less, so maybe that's the better idea. But, you know, it's a great idea regardless. But yeah, let's go back to the iceberg over here. I think I want to start with the big icebergs first, because They're easier to deal with, and then we can switch over. Oh, also, I want to do the snowballs for the big icebergs, I think. Or, yeah, for the big icebergs, we're going to snowball them up first. It just kind of makes some sense. People hate you because of your hair or too shy to understand your felicity talks anyway. I mean, yeah, that's, like, that is another thing. Like, if you inherently dislike someone because of something that's not in their... I mean, I guess hair is in your control, but, like, there's a lot of things that aren't in people's control that people can literally hate you for. If you're the sort of person who hates someone based on something that isn't in their control or isn't relevant, then, you know, you're probably not too receptive to the sorts of things they say anyway. I think, you know, conforming... There's a time and a place in society for conforming and being the same as everyone else, right? But I don't think that time and place is everywhere all the time. And I also don't think, like... I think that the sorts of people who don't follow normal rules aren't encouraged by you saying, hey, follow the normal rules. So if my hair was some grand statement, then I guess it would have proved its point there, right? So, Cat, you missed my super chat. Rip. I've got the big super chats here on the right. You said hi, Toy Cat, and then a Lenny face. I think I said hi, Toy Cat. I just didn't say the Lenny face. And you know, maybe that was probably for the best, right? Also, we live in a society, says Jira. Damn straight, we live in a society. I mean, it's not incorrect. We do live in a society. Tell me that's not correct. Anyway, let's go to bed, and then let's go. Actually, I'm gonna start with the shoveling of the snowballs here. I think that makes the most sense to start with here, because I want a lot of snow, and there's a lot of snow that I can just get rid of. So let's do that, I guess. Starting with over here, like, you know, we don't need any of this snow. Let's deal with it. Hi, Toy Cat, Lenny face. It's called the Lenny face, right? I'm not crazy. Anyway, so we've spent enough time kind of goofing around saying, hey, how's it going? And by the way, hey, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday evening. This is a lot later than we usually stream, but again, I just had a moment where I was like, I really want to stream. And you know, the internet's wonderful for letting you do that. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about something quite interesting, because usually a lot of people say we talk about philosophy on this channel, and I don't know if that's necessarily true. If people say it, I'm inclined not to try and tell them that they're wrong, because, you know, telling people they're wrong is my favorite thing to do, but again, I don't think about what I'm thinking about necessarily. I don't talk about what I'm talking about. It's not usually the best subject, right? Although I guess I'm talking about what I'm talking about now. Although maybe I'm doing it on a meta whatever. Anyway, got your back, Toy Cat. If they be mean, I'll program an AI like GLaDOS. That is one way to get rid of people that you don't like. Turn them into an AI, or I guess get an AI to kill them. I'm not sure which way you're indicating that way. But, yeah, so what a lot of people like to say this is philosophy. I don't know how to really deal with that one or respond to it. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But something that I want to talk about that definitely isn't philosophy is the concept of brand new sentences, right? So there is a subreddit for this, so you might have heard about it. But it's something I've been, you know, I've been thinking about it forever. The concept that there are some sentences that had to be said for the very first time at some point. The fact that we haven't always had to say, where are you, before we had phones, for instance. Like, again, the sentence, where are you, or like, you know, hello, or... There are all these sorts of things like, okay, we're gonna meet then, or, you know, like, these sorts of phrases only make sense over the phone, because where are you doesn't make sense in a one-to-one physical conversation. Maybe you'd get it in the woods or something, but now, where are you, and, you know, like, what are you doing, for instance, are huge questions that you ask all day. Also, bruh, global warming is a myth, SMH. Also, the AI will test them till death. But one of the things that is kind of bizarre is that we're always kind of coming up with new sentences, because technology is basically improving, or at least changing, the way that, like, the average life is lived. And again, on the surface, that's obvious. Like, yeah, of course, when you have a phone, things change. When you go out in public, now you don't stare blankly, like when you're on the tube, you don't stare blankly across, not making eye contact. You look at your phone, and everyone doesn't make eye contact that way. But also, where did all this stone brick come from? Like, did I place that there? Why did I place that there? But yeah, the fact that there is, you know, kind of new things being invented all the time. Life is changing all the time. It's not necessarily that profound of a thing when you mention it by itself. But what I think is really intriguing is the fact that we're not only inventing new, like, words and new sentences, and we're not only, you know, coming up with new ways to live our lives in that way, but also there are whole new concepts that I think have only been invented because of this whole thing. So, for instance, I mean, a meme's a great example. Like, there is the term meme in survival. Like, you know, if I work out how to make a stone tool, that's a meme. But, you know, we don't call it a meme. We call that a tool and a thing you share. But, like, you know, the concept of memes is new. But also something that's brand new to the internet age, to this whole thing, not really to the internet age, to the industrial age, is apparently boredom. Boredom is something that we think of as being natural, right? Like, how often are you bored, chat? Tell me, once a day? Multiple times a day? Are you bored every day of your life, for majority of your life? Tell me, chat, how often are you bored? Because the concept of boredom, it seems so natural, especially to me. I've grown up in a time where there are just times in the world where you are bored, right? But boredom is new. Boredom is not, it's when you intuitively think, like, yeah, of course. Every time I watch your video, says Jira. Ouch, someone banned Jira. Feeling hurting is not allowed in the chat. All the time. Literally, by the way, every single person, there's a few people who are like, oh yeah, I'm bored sometimes. But there are a lot of people saying I'm bored all the time. That is fascinating. Like, I was bored until I saw this stream. There we go. That's the wholesome version we need. Aiden Zhang, that's what we need more of in the chat. But, see, just, being nice on the internet. Why don't we do that? But, yeah, the concept of boredom is something that only was really invented in the industrial age, or, like, really, I guess, in the surplus age. When we had more time than we knew what to do with, it's like, oh, there is time that is unaccounted for. To live a life in 2019, you need, 40 hours a week to work. Let's say 10 hours to get to and from it, to prepare for it, etc. The number of hours you need to work in a week, or if you're in school, the number of hours you go to school in a week, what is it, 20, 30, etc.? Also good to see your Kit Kats. But Navigated says, if I plan to fail and succeed, which have I done? That's my favorite, like, ridiculous, like, just rhetorical, kind of rhetorical circle argument, but I love it anyway. But yeah, no, the fact that you can, the fact that boredom exists is something that's quite new. The fact it's not something we've always had to deal with, and it's weird because when you think about it as a concept, why does any other species get bored? Do giraffes get bored? Like, oh man, I had all these plans for the day, and now I'm not sure if we're gonna do them. Giraffes don't get bored. Again, giraffes are always my go-to example for like other animals, because again, giraffes think they're so great, but are they really so great? I don't reckon so. So yeah, what are you doing this for? Are you making a huge project? Says Josh Vandal. I totally am. But yeah, boredom is new, and it's something that we only have because of all this surplus time. But yeah, it feels so natural, and it becomes like a part of just the assumed life. Like, oh yeah, boredom is a thing you have sometimes. And there are all these different cures for boredom, but they don't really ever cure it. It's something that is literally inherent in life. Could you live a life without boredom? Like, if you tried, hypothetically, chat, I know I don't intend to have kids at this current moment, but if you do intend at some point in your life to have children, or just imagine you can you make a child not ever be bored? Like, how would you do that? Try and imagine, like, because we used to do it. It used to be a thing that boredom wasn't a thing in your life when we were hunter-gatherers or whatever. Also, my AI will get her on your command, Toycat. But, also, Toycat is not rich. He sleeps in a plain white bed and doesn't eat golden carrots. Hey, I'll have you know that's a blue bed. Is it not a blue bed, actually? Wait. Oh, God. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is awful. This is embarrassing. You've caught me in something that I wish you hadn't caught me in. But this is, in fact, not a blue bed. I thought it was. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this to you. Oh, the lapis is in the chest. Let's fix this up, and let's move my bed, like, into the middle of this iceberg, because why not, right? Okay, I'm sorry. There we go. We'll throw the lapis together with the bed. You should always use blue dye rather than lapis, but again, we're in the middle of a very important issue here. Let's place our bed right here in the center of this place. Because I think you can place beds on ice. Yeah, you can apparently. And there we go. So sorted, blue bed. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be one of the peasants who use a white bed. I'm not like that, I swear. Usually I'm not in that way. But yeah, like, trying to have a life in the modern world without boredom is not a thing you can do. It's an inherent part of life. Also, thanks to the £2.40 super chat. Are you watching the PewDiePie Minecraft Let's Play series? A few of them were on my TV when I woke up in the morning, and I watched, like, a few of them that way. I think they're fascinating because you can see what, like, someone who used to play Minecraft getting into it is enjoying. And that's something that I want to, like, help with my videos, because I make a lot of informative videos, like, maybe less so these days. But I make a lot of videos trying to help people with Minecraft. It's something I enjoy doing. So, like, seeing people come back into it, it's like, what do you need to know about? And yeah, that's how it helps me inform my topics, seeing people dive back into the game. Because I've been playing the game for so many years that some things that are just second nature to me, second knowledge, second whatever, obviously aren't second nature to everyone else, because that's how the world works. Fun facts with Toycat. So yeah, I'm just wondering, How did the tiger biome get voted to be updated? Because people are bad at voting, you know? Democracy was a mistake. It's clearly my response to that one. But, yeah, trying to live a life without boredom is near impossible. You know, I'm just saying, okay, wait, since we said lobsters in the description, you know, do lobsters get bored? I'm pretty sure not. I know, actually, wait, I know the antidepressants work on lobsters. That's one of those wild facts that comes up every now and then. Like, I think my ex-girlfriend told me, like, because she was on antidepressants, she's like, hey, did you know the same, it's like, it's called an ASRI, or I don't know, it does something with your brain, because antidepressants don't fix depression, they obviously just, you know, make you happier more of the, not happier, but they change it changes the way that the happy chemical is released in your brain. Because fun fact, there's a chemical that makes us feel happy. Also, lobsters can be blue. Just like my bed, am I right, Kelly Drummond? Democracy was a mistake, we need dictators back. I'm just saying, when I ran my server like a dictator, it worked until people blew it up, so as long as we have TNT explodes turned off, then we'll be set, I think you'll find. But, yeah, no, I think, honestly, like, online democracy, because, you know, when it's real life, there's lots of balancing factors, but when you have a Twitter poll, the result of that Twitter poll is almost always useless. If I post a Twitter poll saying, hey, should I make a video, yes or no, people will say yes. It doesn't mean it was a good idea to make a video. I mean, same with, like, oh, yeah, generally speaking, you can influence the poll just with the wording. You know, actually, yeah, that's something that I think is interesting by itself. That, like, really the biggest decision, like, in any referendum, the biggest, like, you know, decider is usually who picks the question. The question determines everything about everything. Like, there's so many, like, little things that when countries do big referendums, they have to decide on so much ahead of time. Like, okay, the question's gonna be like this to be as neutral and happy to both sides as possible. There's a lot of fun stuff that goes on there. Anyway, we're gonna move on from that. So, Kat, what do you think about the fact that I constantly ask you questions? Also, you're my favorite YouTuber. Thank you, says the Flaming Arrow. Thank you very much, Flaming Arrow. Also, I think we said it, like, semi-sarcastically earlier, but we might genuinely hit 1.2 million subscribers this live stream. That'd be cool, right? That'd be wonderful. Because we're at 350 subscribers to go. Let's just keep streaming till we hit it, am I right? No, I'll go crazy. It's, like, way too hot in here for me to live stream for hours. Oh, you know, I know complaining about base level things is kind of boring. Actually, you know, I won't complain about them. I'll also mention, though, that, like, alongside boredom, like, a lot of the modern ailments in the world, like, I don't know if you know this, but, like, depression is highest in the modern world. And a lot of people like to attribute it to all sorts of different things. Like, you can blame, you know, XYZ thing, and, you know, they might be true. It's a very detailed, complex subject. But it's something that I think is on the rise as the economy in the world grows. Because we know for a fact, one of the things we can pinpoint down, you know how I said, oh yeah, if you were going to have a child, you know, how would you make it live a life without boredom? And you thought about that for a bit, and you're like, haha, imagine if I had children. Some of you, of course, want to have children. That's a normal-ish thing. But the fact that most people don't intend to have children, think about how crazy that is. Most people don't intend to recreate. As a species, you know how species survive? They survive and then they recreate. We've gone to the stage where we're not really that fond on making more of ourselves, which I think is insane. And yeah, it's one of those it's one of those things that's like a fairly new concept in the modern world. Because yeah, I don't usually talk about actual philosophy, but something I found by purely accident, and I thought it was interesting, so let's talk about it. Is it's actually you know, one of the biggest philosophical points comes from, I think it's literal Karl Marx in this. Like, you know, don't agree with Karl Marx on most things. Most people don't, even if you're a proponent of his favorite things. I think most people who try to create solutions for everything in the world, especially you know, stuff like that, if they invented their solutions before the modern world existed, probably not going to have the solution for the modern day problems. Fun fact with Toycat. But one of the fascinating things is the idea that, like, one of the reasons that we're so disillusioned is because everything we do serves some greater higher purpose. Like, the things that make the world possible to enjoy as a consumer make it less enjoyable as, like, a producer. Because, for instance, you know, like, if you work in a furniture factory, you know, this is the classic example. If you work in a furniture factory, you know, making chairs, you don't get to make the chair from scratch and make a beautiful, ornate chair. Instead, you make like the legs for chairs, and someone else makes the seat. And it's the most efficient way to get it all put together, because you can be really good at making chair legs, but you don't make anything that has direct value to you. It has direct value to your dude. That's why the whole Karl Marx thing goes into like, well, we should seize the means of production and make it so you can you should be able to own your own chair factories. Why can't everyone own a chair factory? Again, vastly simplifying and making fun of like very complex ideas here. But the idea that like the modern world, is just filled with this concept that as a consumer you want one thing that's in, like as someone who's not working, when you're not working, the things you want are contrary to what is good for you when you are working. If that makes any sense. The things that make your life great as a person here on the internet are also things that can make your life not great when you're a person in a, I don't know enough, when you're a person at work and stuff. And it's one of those big crises that we don't really know how to solve. It's funny, because like there are so many issues that we can like end that way. And I guess we could make a whole video series just like, hey, problems in the world that we don't really know how to solve and that might kill us all one day. And maybe that should be my new stream thing. Rather than talking about like, deep issues or talking about... local man quotes Karl Marx while playing Minecraft. Man, I'm not a communist, and I'm not, anywhere really close to, like, again, it's a really fun basic idea until you dive into it. But like, would it be cool if I was a communist playing Minecraft? Like, that would be such good branding. Hey, Hannah Gorse says, Toycat is yes. Are you still releasing names? Also, my middle name are Chinese words, so I couldn't read the rest of that. It's really hard for me to read like screen chat for some reason sometimes. I'm gonna maximize it so next time I see it. Also, Hannah Gorst, I'm gonna rate your first name. I'm gonna rate it like an 8 out of 10. I've never met a Hannah who wasn't like, like an enjoyable person to be around, but also cute. Like it's the double whammy. That gives you a 9. I'm gonna say. However, when you take into account Gorst, it's like, ooh, that sounds like blazing someone with a blowtorch. I know that's called like gauzing or something. I don't know what the word actually is, but that's what I'm reminded of. And it's like, I don't want to be reminded of like burning to death. So yeah, in summary, to summarize my entirely ridiculous statements, I'm going to give your name let's give that like a 7.5 out of 10. You get a 6 for your second name, a 9 for your first name, 7.5, it's the overall thing. But yeah, like, I mean, like, it would be cool branding if I was the communist playing Minecraft, right? Like, hey, you guys want to hear about Karl Marx's revolutionary theory about the workplace? It'd be, I mean, like, because the opposite, because, on the other end, like, the world agrees that, like, yeah, Nazis are bad, right? No one's I mean, again, generally speaking, the mainstream believes that, even though the opposite isn't true for communism. But, like, if you're like that guy, I'm sure there is a Nazi someone who plays Minecraft, but he doesn't, espouse his neo-Nazi beliefs. But it would be cool. It'd be like an ironic thing to enjoy, watching a communist play Minecraft, right? Like, I think... Again, if I was the sort of person who put profit above everything else, I think I would totally be like, hey, I'm gonna read Karl Marx to you, and then you can give me money in exchange for it. Oh, that'd be such perfect, like, internet irony. If I was like, hey, I'm gonna tell you about communism, and then I'm gonna beg for your money, that you could otherwise use to feed or shelter yourselves or whatever, and instead I'm gonna use it to buy a jet ski. That, again, I might start a second YouTube channel just to do this now. I'm not actually going to, but it's such a good idea. If you're a communist and you play Minecraft, I've just fed you the genius idea right there. I think the world would be better off if the human race died off. Honestly, do you want to hear something? So I think this is a bit of an edgelord position, right? Like, oh yeah, I think it'd be cool if there weren't humans. But this is for good reason. But I genuinely used to believe, like, my entire time while I was in school, I was like, so the human race is just... we just do bad things, right? Like, from the perspective of anything besides humans are bad, right? I mean, you might disagree, but, you're a human. That's why you disagree. It's like how, once I got into a very big argument with my friend's flatmates because I said to them, like, again, this was very late after a very bad experience. I was like, all women are irrational. And then they got very angry, and I was like, this is proof you're irrational. You're women. And again, fun joke, not actually my opinion. But, like, all humans, think they deserve to exist. But why do you really deserve to exist, etc.? And yeah, it's a fun thing that, like, from the perspective of us, we do many great things. And I think that's the perspective that matters. But from the perspective of the planet, from the perspective of the universe, from the perspective of anything, we just do bad, right? From every other animal on the planet, like, besides, like, cats and dogs, which I think we did a solid, right? You know, humans do worse things in the overall. Because what is good for humans comes at the cost of other things. And, again, those costs are worth paying, I would say. I personally genuinely am of the belief that, like, you know, if we had to kill 1,000, I don't know, like 1,000 sheep to save 10 million human lives, I would do that. Even if it was like 1,000 sheep for 1,000 human lives, heck yeah, don't even question it. 1,000 sheep for 10 human lives? Sure. 1,000 sheep for 1 human life? Yeah, why not? You know, sheep are cute as heck, and, you know, I love sheep as much as the next person. But we also, you know, like, something we all know, even if we like to believe isn't true, is that we value human lives over animal lives. The reason that we cook lobsters, we boil lobsters to death every day. There we go, back to lobsters. But the reason that we boil lobsters every day. Also, thank you, Soviet Union. Also, thank you to the other guy, I missed your super chat. But they said, rate my name, Exotic Gamer. Exotic Gamer, I'm gonna give you a 8 out of 10. You know, no, you're not. No. Exotic Gamer, you sound, it's either an 8 or a 2. Like, it's one of those two. Either, like, you're gonna, you know, either it's like, yeah, I'm exotic, I'm a gamer. You try too hard, right down to a 2. If it's like, oh yeah, I just play games. I'm the exotic gamer because, you know, I play games from exotic regions of the world. Then there we go, right? But, yeah, so yeah, I'm rate your name an 8 or a 2. It's like, oh wait, no, I'll give you a name of 1 or 11. Your name is the Ace. Could be really great, could be awful. Depends on the rest of the concept. Lobster rolls and lobster mac and cheese are the best. Oh man, lobster mac and cheese, totally agree. Lobster rolls, oh man, I would kill 1,000 lobsters for a lobster roll, you know? Wow, thanks. Also be careful talking about communism on stream. You remember what happened last time and then never? You've got a good point. I haven't backed up the world in quite some time either, so we do have to be mindful of that. Thank you for the reminder. Communism, I think it was socialism that killed the cat, right? Like, I've never had lobster, says Jura. Honestly, so lobster has this reputation as an expensive food, and I think a lobster, you know, like a whole lobster is expensive because it's an animal, etc., etc. But there's lots of foods that use just a little bit of lobster, and they're the ones I like most. I mean, 1, because they're not crazy expensive, and 2, because lobster's not great as its own food. It's great as an accompaniment. I've got this genuine opinion. By the way, thank you, Big Boy, and Exotic Game. Oh, rate my name Quinn, says Exotic Gamer. Oh, I'm apologetic to you. It's gonna show up on screen in a few seconds. But yeah, lobster's like bread. Bread is the best. But bread by itself, like, I can eat bread by itself, and I often do. But I mean, like, not many people do, right? It's like, you know, can I have some cheese? Can I have some butter? Like, give me something with that bread. Give me some lobster with that bread, boom. Yeah, a lobster roll is literally just lobster and some good bread. I think a brioche bun's a bit more than that, but you see the point. Also, rate name Quinn. Honestly, Quinn, is that like your real first name? Like, because I can only think Harley Quinn and then Quinn like some superhero character. You know, you sound like a superhero character. I think your name's got great value now. I think it's gonna die off quickly. Or maybe the other way around. Maybe it's got great value soon. But right now it seems a bit overdone. I'm not too sure. Also, this is a beautiful iceberg biome with the sun setting over it. I like that. Bread on its own is delicious. Bite me, says Abigail Roberts. Bread is so delicious on its own. Like, again, if you've never just tried bread by itself, then 1, I am glad that your social situation has led you to that stage. But 2, man, you are missing out. Bread is the best. There's a reason that, you know, like, people call many good things bread things. Because, like, avocado toast. You know, you just take an exotic ingredient, add it to bread, charge a bunch of money, and people love it because it's the bread that does most of the job. Also, Soviet Union just donated $2 and says, how do I send a super chat? I just got a super chat from someone, I mean, the Soviet Union, which is its own fun thing, asking how to send a super chat, and I'm not sure how I feel about that one. I mean, like, it's, do you not know? Like, is that a joke? Did you do that to break me? I'm really not sure. But yeah, you know, like, I think, you know, you could argue humans have our priorities wrong, because, like, you know, we kill animals every day just to eat. The irony of the Soviet Union donating money. Right? I mean, if this was the real Soviet Union, then really you should give a negative $2 super chat. You know, that's how we should really do this, and then you can, you know, something, jokes about communism. You get the point. We could do it all day, but again, I'm not the communist playing Minecraft. That would be great branding, though. That'd be the best branding. Like, so because here's the deal. There is a whole section of YouTube that is trying to radicalize people into, you know, like, oh yeah, so, you know, you don't like that that, you know, like right side of YouTube. But you know what you'll love? You'll love being radicalized into our extreme beliefs, where we want to kill many people for the greater good, etc. And it's like, ooh, about that one again. So also 3 a.m. Scary Ice Collection. We've officially passed midnight, by the way, so happy Monday morning. I love Sunday midnight and Monday morning. I've said this before, but like, it sucks because Saturday midnight turns into Monday midnight. Sorry, turns into Sunday. Like, Saturday at midnight, like, Sunday labor laws kick into effect and everything shuts down. Sunday midnight, everything opens right back up again. I have a 24-hour Tesco near me that shuts every Sunday, like, because it's not allowed to be open on Sunday. Opens midnight on a Sunday. And there's like a huge crowd outside because they're like, yes, can buy goods again. And yeah. Oh, I guess that could probably come into the same thing I was talking about earlier. Again, even though, again, want to clarify, again, multiple times, not in the belief of this sort of thing. But I think it's interesting on a philosophical level that the things that are good for, again, this is a great example of what is good for me as a consumer, being able to buy things from Tesco at any time in the day. If you don't know, Tesco is a big supermarket in the UK, the biggest if I'm not mistaken. Being able to buy things from Tesco at any time in the day is bad for the employees that work there. Someone has to work the shift from midnight to 6 a.m. and that's not the ideal shift, right? Like, hopefully they get paid more, a little bit more to compensate for the fact that it's a night shift. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just are told, hey, you work this shift or you get fired. And although that's, you know, a whole own sort of like, well, you know, how do labor relations work? The fact that, you know, what is good for me is bad. If I worked at Tesco, it'd be both simultaneously, right? And obviously we all do all these things simultaneously. Like, I don't work at Tesco or a furniture factory, but I benefit from those things as a consumer at the cost of other people. And then those people benefit from what I do to myself as a producer, although I make Minecraft videos, so maybe you don't benefit. It's very complex. Talk about extremely common American places you've never been to, says Darcy Hayes. Oh, okay, here's my list. I actually do have a list of American places, because, like, you know, you don't like me talking about my British chain stores, and that's very sad. That's very tragic. So let me talk about places in America, like, I really want to visit. Like, I just need to, like, find an opportunity and, you know, I guess go to America and do it. Oh, the polar bear that was on this ice cube got down. Unless it was a different ice cube. No, the polar bear despawned. Does anyone know where that is? Do polar bears... I didn't know polar bears did despawn until just now. But, yeah, it's kind of... that's one of the points that, like, you can benefit and lose from something at the same time. And that... It's kind of like a... It's called, cognitive dissonance. When two parts of your brain fight each other, but it's kind of like a societal version of that. Like, you benefit from one thing on the one hand, but lose from it on the other hand. And honestly, like, it's the best point that proves that, you know, I don't think it's a good basis to say we should overthrow everything we have. Also, thank you, Infernia. Waitrose is the superior UK supermarket. Okay, Infernia, I'm gonna disprove you with one simple point. Again, we'll talk about the UK supermarket scene, which I know everyone is excited to hear, especially international viewers. Like this guy who says he's from Canada, Crazy Gamer, and this guy from Sweden. But in the UK, Waitrose does not have a meal deal. Every supermarket has a meal deal. The Sainsbury one sucks. The Waitrose one does not exist, and the Tesco one is close to a godsend. It's not as good as Boots, but it's right up there. So in conclusion, you know, Tesco is better than Waitrose because it has a meal deal. And without a meal deal, what are you gonna do in your life? I just don't know. I will say Waitrose, like, if you have the money to spend, like, you might as well go there, I guess, but it is the most expensive, and I don't know, like, I as someone who is, you know, like, recently living by themselves, I find it hard to, like, justify shopping at the most expensive one, because I'm like, oh, man, every item's just more expensive. You know, the exact same items are an extra £1 more each, and it's like, it's just, it's the same thing. It's literally the same, like, the same brand, like a Ben & Jerry's tub, £6 instead of 5, or instead of 3 or 4. And it's like, I can't deal with that. Can't deal with that at all. Co-op meal deal is the best fact. Oh, man, the co-op meal deal. I'm not going to talk about meal deals forever. Aldi is elite. I love Aldi too, man. Like, Aldi, I think, is my favorite of the discount ones. Love me some Aldi. Could talk about all of my favorite supermarkets in the UK all day. I won't do that for the benefit of our international listeners. Instead, I'll kind of... I have no idea what a meal deal is. Is it the same thing as a coupon? So in the UK, I'm going to explain the concept of meal deal, just for the benefits for my international viewers who live in a sad world where there is no meal deal. Because it is I know it's just a UK kind of institution. But yeah, we have this, we have something called a meal deal that pretty much every single supermarket chain has, and even some non-supermarket chains, where basically, you know, it's lunchtime, you want to get yourself some snacks, but you know, like, you want to get different sorts of snacks. So what you do is you know, what you do is you get a meal deal. It's a sandwich, it's a drink, and it's a snack, I want to say. Like, it varies by place, but you get a sandwich, like a main or a baguette or a pasta salad or sushi if you really want. You get a drink, and you get like a bag of Doritos, or you get like, I don't know, a chocolate bar, or you get some snack to go along with it, and it always has a fixed price. No matter what one of those three things you get, it's always £3 at Tesco, £3.29 at Boots. I want to say it's £3.50 at Co-op. I'm not too sure, but you pay a fixed price, and it means that you can get like this infinite value where you can get a sandwich worth £4 and a drink that's worth £1.50 and a snack that's worth £1. All for £3.29. Yeah, there's a big game in maximizing the value from it. And yeah, it's great. Because, you know, in a lot of other places, if you just get what you want, it adds up quickly. With the meal deal, no matter what you want, no matter what you're feeling that day, same price. And that's empowering. This needs to be a global thing. Again, it's the best thing. It's the one thing we got going on in the world, is that, like, you can pay a fixed price basically anywhere you go and get anything you want. And yeah, it's a big like competition between all of them to have the best meal deal. It's of course expensive because you know there are some things more expensive than others, and a lot of people like me are just like, let's just get the most expensive of everything, show them who's boss. So okay, have you heard of Publix? Says Alex Caps. It's a supermarket chain in Florida, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. So okay, here's the list of places that I hear about on the internet that I'd love to go to at some point. I might even do like a fast food tour of America at some point. Like it's a genuine thing I want to do, but so Publix in the South of America, apparently people love it. I don't know what they love about it, but I would love to see what you can love about a supermarket. I went to Walmart last time I was in America, I think, so that's now off the list. What did you have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Man, that is a... You know, I'm going to interrupt my current thought and just say, for breakfast today, I had a banana. It was very sad. For lunch, I had a kebab, but like the weirdest like ready meal version of it that tasted like I was about to die. With every single bite, it was awful. I had some cheese melted in though, so that was good. And then for dinner, I had some McDonald's. It's got the chicken legend. And then I had like a little mug in a cup. There you go. There's everything I ate today. You can take that data and you can work out who I am from it. Okay, so yeah, I've always heard that Publix is amazing. I don't know what a supermarket can do to be great, but I'd love to know. Little Caesars, I love the concept of like cheap pizza that's good enough. It's not the best pizza, but it's not the most expensive pizza. Like, what if there was a fast food pizza place? I've heard Little Caesars is that. Everyone hates it, but I'm so curious, like, how good is it? If it's even, like, if it's like the McDonald's of pizza, heck yeah, you know? The McDonald's of burgers is great, so why not the McDonald's of pizza? So yeah, I would say that right there on the list is Little Caesars. Also on the list is Sonic's drive-thru, I think it's called. It's like a drive-in, sorry, not a drive-thru. You eat in your car, which is like a weird-ish concept to me. Okay, you know, eat in your car, and they sell slushies, I've heard. It's been a while since I've heard that, but, you know, that's a thing. That sounds amazing to me. There's Whataburger, I think it's called, the Texas chain. There's Buc-ee's, which is also a Texas chain. It's like the Texas version of 7-Eleven, but better. Again, super curious as to what that even means. There's a lot of things. There's God tier subs at Publix. Little Pizzas is the best pizza under $10. I'm curious about that too. I haven't been to an American McDonald's in a while. I'd be curious about that. Like, you know, like what's the deal there? How different are things going on here? I think there's a bunch of burger chains in America. Oh no, wait. There's a really big sub chain that's bigger than Subway. I had no idea what it's called, but there is a sub chain bigger than Subway. It might be Jersey Mike's, it might be Firehouse Subs. I know, like, in America, everyone trash talks Subway, and it's like, man, that's all we got here in the UK. What's so great about these places? And yeah, I went to Jersey Subs once because I had a very close American friend. I think I told the story. I met her once, and we got some Jersey Mike's like on the very last like day just before her train home or something, and it was like, oh man, why? This is the god. Why have you waited till just now to share this with me? I'm just about to leave. You're just about to leave, and I didn't end up with one of these inside my mouth. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with society as a whole for not telling me about this? Subway's quite good. I had a roach my Subway sign. See, people just hate it. Also, Jimmy John's sucks. I went to Jimmy John's once and I was so disappointed. It was the worst thing in the world. Worst. you know, worse than, you know, the exploitation of workers under... I want to make the jokes about capitalism. Like, I just can't do it. I just love it too much. I'm sorry. So, a thin crust pizza is £1. Stuffed crust is £3, so you pay £2 on stuffing. I pay £3 for a stuffed crust pizza. Like, honestly, stuffed crust is so good. Like, even though it hurts paying, like, it's £2.50 more in the UK, it's like, well, it makes the pizza £2.50 better. So, you know, it'd be sillier not to do it, really, if you think about it that way. There's better sub places than Jersey Mike's and NJ. See, that's like, that's the fascinating thing. There's a pyramid where people have built on everything else. And I guess because like they're localized, you know, there's the local effect where people love their things recently. I'd love to try it all. I'd love to have my opinion on that sort of stuff. Because right now, I don't know how good Little Caesars is. Is it bad? Is it good? Heck if I know. You know, I don't know. Is there a better place than this better place than this better place? Heck if I know any of that stuff. Potbellies. Oh, I went into a Potbellies in Washington DC actually. It was super solid. But yeah, there's a lot of American places I'd love to go to at some point. Again, I have a big fast food tour planned at some point. Probably September because I'm super busy in August. Maybe I'll just do it in August because there's. I'm very very cautious of. Let me tell you about my most specific issue. Again, we'll dive into whatever we were talking about before in a second, like killing lobsters because it's killing lobsters just so we can have good food. I think is where we're going with that. But we'll come back to that in a second. Little Caesars is great for how cheap it is, says Alyssa J. Right, that sounds like a good proposition to me. Spend a couple dollars, get, you know, more than that worth in pizza. Heck yeah, value. But yeah, so oh man, I forgot where I was going. It's gone. It was gone. I had a thing, and I've been doing that more and more recently. It's awful, but I think it was gonna. Oh yeah, so I wanted to talk about the fact that. Like, this is my most specific me-only problem, I know. But I'm going to North America twice in August already. And it feels really silly, like, you know, to go all the way that way, then come all the way back, then go all the way out that way. You know, probably bad for the environment too. Like, yeah, that's a thing people care about. I get that. That's fine. But, yeah, it's this thing of, like, if I go to America in August too, then I'd be like, I'd be doing 3 round trips to the same continent. That just seems wasteful, right? That just seems like you're making a mistake somewhere. Beyond Sushi has the best vegan sushi. Vegan sushi. Again, I understand why some people might like vegan sushi. But to me, vegan sushi is always like kind of defeating the point. Again, there are so many vegan foods that are better than the non-vegan alternatives. But sushi, the great thing about it is like, it makes raw fish into this delightful, palatable thing, and like it combines the flavors of wasabi. But yeah, you don't quite get that with things. Florida is the Sunshine State. Sunshine State. Come and burn with us. That sounds unappealing to me. If I was going to a Publix, because I've been to Florida when I was a child, like I've probably ticked that state off already. I want to go to like Atlanta, Georgia at some point. That'd be great to me. My phone is going off like crazy. Like either there is an emergency or someone's doing that thing where they text, you know, over and over and over again. Like, there's multiple messages. Very rude of them. Wasabi. By the way, wasabi, let me tell you, you know, again, we're talking about food now. We're going to talk about lobsters, but you know what's way more important? Wasabi, if you've ever been to a sushi place and you've tried the wasabi, you've been, like, if you buy one of those supermarket sushi things, you're like, okay, wasabi, I'm sure they do it over there, but I'm not going to do it over here. If you actually try real wasabi, like it's super expensive, like $500 for like a pound or something. It's like, it's one of the more expensive ingredients you can get. Real wasabi, they put it like between the sushi and the rice. And it's like, my God, that's the stuff we're talking about. So pro tip with Toy Cats, sushi be good. You know, I could talk about sushi all day too. Why don't we talk about sushi today? Chat, that'd be a fun little thing to do. I want to go to Japan now just for sushi, you know? That's probably like a destructive, probably a concerning behavior. Like, you know, rather than thinking I'll go to a local sushi place, I'm like, you know what, I could fly 14 hours, get some sushi, come back again, it'd be really good. I think I may have met you in Minecraft once at CJ Gamer. If you meet me and I say I'm not Toy Cat, that's how you know I'm the real Toy Cat. If I say I am Toy Cat, that's how you know that I'm pretending to be me to steal your credit card details. And yeah, never had sushi, says Jira. Honestly, even if you tried the supermarket sushi, it's still pretty good. Wait, chat, my recommendation to any of you, if you've never tried sushi, but you see it at the supermarket, you think, ooh, that's like raw fish and stuff, it's lame. Give it a try, you know, it's expensive, sure, but give it a whirl. Let me know how that goes. Actually, you know, can I... let me talk about the most stupid thing that I realized recently. Because it bothered me, and it's the most stupid thing to bother a person. But I remember, like, when I was a kid, you know, maybe 14, I loved sushi. Like, I'd buy it... You know, whenever I had, like, the excess money required to buy enough sushi to actually eat, I'd buy it at the supermarket. You know, you got, like, 4 pieces for, like, £1.50. And I remember once, I thought it was incredibly rude that someone asked, like, hey, can I try one of those sushi things? It's like, man, what... By the way, thank you, Straw Prosty. You have no life, don't you? It is true. I actually... When these streams end, I just shut down. I just go... until the next stream starts. I don't exist outside of these. You could say, I don't have a life. But no, yeah. I would like to think I have a life, but I don't know what a life really is. Like, you know, what is life if you think about it? Is life, you know, kind of going back to the, you know, what, like, why we feel boredom and depression way more now. You know, what actually defines a good life? What actually defines a life as a whole? When you die, will you feel like your life was well lived? I mean, like, who knows if that one's true? The answer's probably not anyway, though, right? These are the questions we spend a lot of time thinking about, but no one really does a good job at answering it anyway. And that's tragic. Dude, I might go to Hy-Vee and grab some sushi, says Silver PhD. Do it for me. Also, Trump doesn't believe in global warming when he doesn't read your super chat. I try not to dive into the politics things, because, like, especially, something I was thinking about on the way home is, like, politics is such a bad thing to discuss in video form. Like, I think that the reason that, you know, politics is... I think it's also awful, and, like, talking politics on the internet is just a bad idea. But I think the reason it's so particularly bad in, I think the reason that, you know, talking politics on the internet is so bad is because of the fact that, like, when you're speaking off the cuff, you're going to make mistakes. And when you're talking about huge ideas, you can misrepresent something so that it's easy to attack you, like, if you get it wrong. And also, so that it's easy to, you know, it's easy to attack you if you get something wrong. And if someone does believe me, but I said something wrong, they might believe the wrong idea, and that's just as undesirable to me. Shouts, lol, any tips for a YouTuber who only has a PlayStation? I would say there's a big thing coming in the PlayStation 4 to Bedrock switch. If you want to do your part and help out your fellow PlayStation players, help them with the transition. Unless you're saying, I'm assuming you're talking about Minecraft. There's more interesting things to talk about than politics. Yeah, the biggest problem with politics is it is interesting as, like, it's like a TV show that we all watch, but that some people are way more emotionally invested in. You have to follow the politics TV show because it helps you be, not even follow every episode, but follow some of the episodes of this politics TV show that exists for us all. But I think that it's not the greatest thing for everyone to discuss because everyone has all these different... Like, it's not a fun subject, whereas, you know what is fun? Like, I enjoyed this little talk we had about, you know, American, you know, food places I'd love to go, and sushi, and, like, you know, people like coming to these streams for philosophy. Talking about politics, although people like to watch it sometimes, it's not something you enjoy watching. It goes back to the boredom thing, where you feel compelled to watch it. You don't watch it because... No one ever wakes up in the morning and thinks, you know what I want to do today? 6 hours of political coverage. I want to watch the news and feel terrified for my country. No one thinks that. And politics, again, I think the fact that politics is rising so much, especially on the internet, is a worrying sign of, again, it's a sign of, like, not systems collapse, but systems failing. In my opinion, what constitutes, like, a good day, a good life, is when you set out to do something and you do it. It feels really good when you achieve a goal, you know, whatever the goal may be. Even if your goal, like, you know, when you're super depressed, I know this one too hard, but, like, even just thinking, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do something today. I'm going to be further today than I was yesterday. You know, I'm going to actually take a shower today because I've been, you know, getting out of bed's been really hard recently. I'm going to actually go somewhere and do a thing. It's like, yeah, that feels good when you do a thing you want to. No one ever wants to watch politics coverage. No one ever feel... It comes up and you just feel compelled to. And I think that forcing on people, like right now, if we're like, so, you want to hear my thoughts on, you know, what is hot right now? The recent, I don't know, election, the recent, this guy's thoughts on global warmings, the current leader of a certain country. It's not good, right? Also, Alex Caps says it perfect. Politics bad, Minecraft good. Damn straight, right? Damn straight. You know, again, I've said this before, but I really think the thing that Minecraft nails as a game is that, you know, the thing that makes life enjoyable. Again, the thing that makes you I would say like a sustainable, long-term, enjoyable life is setting goals and achieving them, whatever those goals are. Like even if your goals are to spread your, you know, weird beliefs about this or that. Like subscribing and liking Toycat, our 1s and 0 on a hard drive, that will make you subscribe to Toycat and like his videos. Damn straight, damn straight. Thank you for the super chat, do appreciate it. But like, Minecraft is a game which basically is like, hey, do whatever you want to do, and then everything you do is going to be satisfying, or not satisfying. You can basically pick, but it encourages you to pick things that feel good when you do them. I think the reason people like seeing whatever my big projects are, or the reason people like making their own ones themselves, to not make this about me, is because when you finish something big, it feels just inherently good. You're like, yeah, I achieved a thing. And achieving things is something that we lack on... I would say we lack at least. Also, why is it that this is glowing? Oh, I placed a torch next to it. When did I place that torch? I genuinely do not remember placing a torch here. Huh. But yeah, took out the mics on the screen. Thank you for letting me know. Didn't know that one until literally just now. But yeah, it's in my opinion that's a thing. And yeah, so that's why I think politics is awful. I think it's the definition of living. When you spend too much time thinking about politics, you forget about all the other things in your life. And given that politics is, you know, at least on the surface, it pretends to be the solution to all these problems in the world, you often can create problems for yourself by talking about it. Global warming's real, there's no denying that. Yeah, agreed, true man, the man. Thank you for throwing it out there. I'm glad that that's not a political discussion, at least, these days. Anyway, 4 of these streams, how much ice do you need, says Magyarskiask. There's probably going to be a 5th one too, right? Or maybe this is my 5th one, I'm not sure. But there's going to be another one of these because after this, you can see just how many icebergs we've got left to destroy. We've got this one, we've got that. Well, there's a lot of ice left to go, is what I'm saying. Look how many there is. Should we start with the small ones, actually? Like, I didn't appreciate just how much there really actually is here. Your Tome of Undying looks like it has your face on it. Yeah, it looks like my chair is actually the Tome of Undying. I really like that, personally. So, Kat, how much will your world cost when you put it up? There's a certain amount of that that's in my control. I think the price they recommended is $9.90 or $8.30. We'll see which one it comes out as. As in Minecoins, not dollars or whatever. This is $5 for a pizza. It's not bad, but it's not really good either. But it's still a pizza and it's cheap. Also, Trump 2020 low. I don't know if that's a joke because we're talking about how politics is the worst thing to discuss or not. I don't know for sure though. But yeah. I think a really good discussion you can have with someone else is about something that when you go into a discussion with a preconceived notion you don't want to change, which is what politics is, you don't have a fun discussion. When you go into a discussion not really knowing where it's going to go, that's really fun. Just before this stream, literally 10 minutes before the stream, me and the editor, if you don't know, Legendary Potato, Mr. Potato Man, he edits my videos, he's in college right now. He said something like, oh yeah, I go back to college and I've scheduled it so I have 3 days of college. And I was like, how did you schedule your own week? Like, surely that's what the college does. And apparently in the American college system, the way it works is you can basically pick your own classes. Like, you have to fulfill a certain number of credits or something, but you pick your own classes in America, and then if you want, you can, like, set it up. So, oh yeah, there is only 3 days off those classes. And it's like, wow, that's super fascinating. I didn't come into that discussion thinking like, oh, I'm going to use this as a way to prove how he's an evil human being and how he should feel bad about it. No, I went into that discussion not having any clue about how the American college system worked, and I learned something really cool about it that isn't true in the UK. Oh, look at that, cultural difference. Shared a thing, got some real interesting knowledge, shared there. Super fascinating thing. And yeah, this is something that's this is something you have all sorts of time. Like, the reason that people enjoy, I like to believe at least, I don't know for sure. The reason I like to believe that people enjoy these streams where we might dive into the philosophy of killing lobsters because they make tasty food is because, like, oh yeah, we don't really discuss that before. You might have thought about the fact that, yeah, humans are actually pretty bad for the planet, but why are humans bad for the planet? Are humans bad for the planet according to who? We sure should set up one day, says Lord Meow Sambo. Thank you for the super chats, Lord Meow. Hope that you're able to do that and that's all good for you. But in case you're curious, the setup is on YouTube already. It hasn't changed since the last time. I usually do a new setup video every single time it changes, and it hasn't changed in a while. Also, I think setup videos are like one of those old school YouTube concepts that like, I'm not sure if it translates into modern day YouTube. I mean, we could always find out or something, but we'll see, we'll see. Humans bad. Humans bad, Minecraft good, am I right? I'm just saying, when has Minecraft ever broken your heart? 0 times. When do humans break your heart? Literally every single day. Sometimes it sounds like I'm making these videos as a way to settle a bit of grudge with someone, right? I swear, that's not the case. Also, yeah, watching the subscriber count go off is like watching grass grow, says Anzella Hall. Is that a compliment? I'm not sure. It doesn't sound like one, but I'll take it as one anyway. Humans made Minecraft. That's the beautiful thing about humans. We can, again, like, the thing that I think makes conversations great, because I don't like people as a whole. Like, in general, if you're like, so Toy Cat, humans good or bad? Eh, is my response. Like, most social situations, I don't. Minecraft breaks my heart when a creeper blows me up. Oh, that's a good point, Kit Kats. When something tragic happens, you know, maybe you're talking about things you shouldn't while you're in the Nether, 800,000 blocks away from spawn. You know, when bad things happen, it really hurts. But, you know, maybe the reason that's so great is because Minecraft is life, and every part of life is represented in Minecraft in some way. Honestly, you know, so right now I'm working on like, it's gonna take me like a month to write, and I'm trying to include every single thing. I'm making like this comprehensive list of everything that makes Minecraft the greatest game that will last. Again, it's like a love letter to Minecraft. And I want to include the fact that basically every human emotion is represented in Minecraft somewhere. What software do you use to stream with your facecam and gameplay? It's called OBS, in case you're curious. Open broadcasting software. It's a streaming software that is, as you might guess, open. I think it's like open source or something. And yeah, that's the whole thing. Do you find it annoying when people brag about how long they've been subbed, says Alexander Nicholas? I only find it annoying when they're blatant lies, like, I've been here since 100 subs, and it's like, I know with 1,000% certainty that's not true. But yeah, no, in general, it's like, you know, you can say whatever you want. But if, you know, the real ones to be like, hey, I've been subscribed since 2 minutes ago. There were 3 subscribers who subscribed just now, since I said that comment right there. If they, you know, it'd be cool if they were honest, like, hey, just subscribe right now. Okay, be honest with me. If you're watching this stream right now, and you subscribed during the course of it, what made you choose to subscribe? Tell me in the chat, did you choose to subscribe just now? And what made you choose? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Because we're about to hit 1.2 million. It's a cool little milestone, right? I've been subscribed since 2001. Oh, I hear things like that with like, I've been subscribed since 2010. And it's like, I didn't make videos like on the regular basis then, like, But yeah, I think every single emotion can be represented in Minecraft. And I think that's either beautiful or terrible. Maybe a mixture of both. Maybe that's what Minecraft is as a whole. A mixture of beautiful and terrible. That's something you can decide for yourself, maybe. I've been here since 1.1 million. Oh, okay, so the chat. I've been subscribed since, oh man. Your humor and honest talks made me sub, says Kit Kats. Thank you. Means a lot. It's surprising how many people cite honesty as a thing that they like. Because, you know, like, again, there's lots of situations where people have disliked, like, most people dislike when you're honest with them. I've said that before. But it's fascinating because, like, honesty is meant to be one of those things that everyone is by default, but most people get kind of wrong in that way. And I've always thought, you know, honesty is such an easy thing to get right, because saying things even when you don't benefit from saying them is something that I think is a good habit to be in. Because if you just say everything that you're thinking, or not everything that you're thinking, if you just say everything, you know, if you say everything that you're meant to say, then you should, in theory, have a happier life anyway. You know, most relationships are improved with honesty and communication, and hopefully that is true for YouTube and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna have to switch over to talking about being subscribed since 1940. You know, I just wanted to hear one person here why they. Also, someone says, "Why are you making a joke about climate change?" You know, you're right. If something is a problem, you shouldn't be able to make jokes about it. Which is why I can't make a joke about your thing, because it's a serious issue. Your comment right there. What's your opinion on renting a house or mortgage for a first house? Says Oliver Mortimer. So I find finance to be a fascinating subject, but I won't dive into it too much because most people probably do not. But yeah, when it comes to finance, my opinion is that you're only going to earn X amount of money over your life. Whatever that X amount is depends on you and a bunch of things about you. but you're only ever going to earn a certain amount, right? A mortgage is objectively better on the level that you basically pay money to yourself, but then it's locked up for a really long time. And renting is objectively better on the cash flow, like month-to-month basis. But obviously, there's a lot of downsides to both. And every time I think about like renting versus mortgage, my end conclusion is, man, if you could not live anywhere, that's the solution. Like, what's better than, you know, what is the better discussion than either one of them is like, hey, live in as small a place as you can, the cheapest place as you can, and you'll live a happier life than, you know, the better discussion is like, hey, rather than focusing too much on, you know, A versus B, you know, focus on C. Hey, look at that, Toy Cat coming in here with advice that means nothing to anyone. But yeah, also, we are now 115 subscribers away. So chat, there is 1,294 of you watching. Statistically, something like 60% of you, or maybe it's 30%. There's some number of hundreds of you who are watching this who are not subscribed. And again, you know, I think that's cool. Subscribing on YouTube is kind of redundant in 2019. Let's be real. It mostly exists for my ego. It mostly exists so I can say I hit 1.2 million subscribers. What does 1.2 million subscribers mean though? Not too much. However, I love milestones regardless. I love hitting them. It makes me, you know, it puts a little smile on my face. It makes me feel good for the rest of the day. Like, yeah, we achieved a cool big thing. Which is why I want to just say right here, you don't have to subscribe. There's not really much benefit in it from you if you subscribe. Most of the benefit from subscribing is to me, the YouTuber. Like that's the interesting reality of just how it is. In 2019, you can increase your likelihood of seeing my videos, probably, sort of. But, you know, it's mostly about that ego boost kind of thing. So, if you want to boost my ego, just a little bit, if you want me to feel a little bit good tonight, go to sleep with a smile on my face, then subscribe, if you'd like to. I got banned in chat for asking if you were autistic. It's a genuine question. I was diagnosed age 14 and struggled a lot. See, the Autumn's question... Okay, so there's this funny thing. Again, I'm not offended by Autumn's questions. Am I autistic? As best I know, I'm not. I'm definitely not diagnosed. I'm definitely... you know, again, but the thing is, it's like a spectrum, right? So it's impossible to say you're not anywhere on the spectrum. And, you know, the fact that, like, you know, you can point to many things about my personality and say, well, that's something that's an autistic tendency. I say that's something that's not, or whatever. And it's an endless debate that doesn't really mean too much in the end anyway. But, yeah, if you're autistic, the reason that we usually ban those sorts of questions is not because it's offensive, or not because, like, oh no, autism, don't say the A word here in the chat. It's because, like, autism Minecraft is like, you know, people make jokes about it, and it's not really beneficial.
We make jokes out of dark things because it's just the natural way of dealing. It's what humans do. Also subbed a few minutes ago because I just realized I wasn't already and enjoy your content.
Hey, thank you, Ajax the Panda, for the $10 super chat. Yeah, one of the things that I've always hated is when people say, don't joke about that, it's a serious issue. No, joke about it because it's a serious issue. As we've learned from the internet, memes about things are one of the best way to communicate points. Like, you know, like making jokes of serious issues is the best way to, you know, raise awareness for them, right? Make more people realize that they are serious issues. And yeah, it's really tragic when people say that you can't joke about things because, like, you can force people not to say certain things, but when you force people not to joke about them, it creates this whole problem. It's a way of speaking the truth. You know, like, you can stop people from saying the truth with words. You can never stop people from saying the truth with humor. You know, fascinating fact you might not know is that Dante's Inferno and a lot of other religious texts, they were written in a time where you couldn't criticize the church, you know, when the church was all powerful. So instead what you did is you made up some fictional characters that were heavily based on the church, and you criticized them instead. That's what Dante's Inferno actually was, like criticism of Christianity as a religion. But now it's seen as like the default representation of all that sort of stuff. Because think about it, right? Like, I mean, there's so many things that joking about can make you feel better. Like if a family member died, I don't think like I'd like strangers to make jokes about it. I think that's maybe a personal thing. But I'd love it if someone at the funeral was like, well, at least you don't have to deal with, or like, you know, maybe it'd be funny if I could be like, oh yeah, well, you know, now that my wife's dead, how am I ever going to deal with making sandwiches again? I've forgotten how to make it after all these years. Terrible joke at, you know, like, but it helps the, you know, the living cope with that situation. If you're against like making jokes about things, then it's like, well, I mean, I think I'm against people making bad jokes about things. Like, if people don't laugh at your statement, if it makes them feel bad, that's terrible. But if some number of people like it, if like this stream, 1,000 fringe people do enjoy it, then it should be a thing, right? I think that's actually the line I draw on most things. Like, if people enjoy something, it's clearly not terrible. If people, if people accidentally find something and they're not really liking it, then it is terrible. Like, to give a good example, you know how there were those channels that made those videos, let me try and describe this. Like, it was basically like Spider-Man and Elstrom stuff doing super inappropriate sexual stuff so they could get recommended to children. Don't ask me how that's a thing. That was harmful and no one enjoyed it and it wasn't funny and no one wanted to subscribe. No one supported it. But when you make jokes about that, you could argue like, but what if the kids see it? Or like, why are you making jokes about a serious issue? But people enjoy the thing. As humans, we all enjoy very different things. And one of the common trends you see in every aspect of every part of life, whether it is the old school church, not really the new school one, but whether it's the old school church or whether it's like, people here or people on the internet, people hate that other people enjoy things sometimes, but people enjoy all sorts of things. 1.19 million people might enjoy my channel. 20 million people might enjoy a channel that's in a different language.
Making jokes tend to lighten up a situation.
Yeah, exactly. Make jokes about everything. It's great. Do you have OCD, says Funky Ling. Yeah, it's funny because on the internet there's I would say there is 3 very common diagnoses that people... No, actually I'd say there's 4 really common diagnoses that people make. And because they're so common, people think about them all the time and try to wonder if they fit in the categories. There's ADD, depression, autism, and OCD. People are like, oh, I'm so OCD, I'm so this. But the truth is because... mental health study is such a new field. As I understand it, prior to 150 years ago, we had some knowledge about it, but it's pretty much a new science, or it's science might be not the correct word for it. But the study of psychology, the study of how brains work and mental illness and stuff, it's a new thing. Previously, what used to happen is someone went crazy. If they went too crazy, they started hurting people. We said they were possessed by demons and we killed them. If they went a little crazy, we just let them run around and be the crazy person, And now we're trying to take all these different, not just the crazies, but we're also trying to take pretty much typical people, but with some significant traits that are different from normal. And you end up down the rabbit hole where... Because, there's, to name a bunch of common ones, bipolarity, there's, schizophrenia is a really common problem. There's so many of these big commons that, basically, it comes down to the fact that, what's your opinion on religion? No religion, no politics, no Star Wars. Sorry about that, I cannot respond to your comment. Again, it's not going to be constructive or valuable for anyone watching, sadly. But, yeah, the fact that, we basically... didn't really have a solution and now we're kind of creating it means that we're now trying to classify all these sorts of different behaviors that previously we didn't have to think about, no Star Wars. Jura, you're just here being mean. You get real mean after midnight. It sucks. Why don't you make a boat to travel faster across the ice? That's an idea I really like, actually. Yeah, rather than going all this way like this, would it be fun to... Yeah, why am I not doing that? You've changed my mind. You've convinced me. Let's fly over to this nice little biome over here. Let's chop down a couple trees. This one right here. It's kind of an ugly tree. Let's be honest. This is not an attractive tree. If you were going to choose a tree to chop down, it wouldn't be this one. But yeah, we're trying to classify all these different things. And we're going to end up down this rabbit hole. We're basically reaching this point already. But everyone is slightly, what's the term? Neuroatypical. No 2 humans are perfectly the same. No 2 humans really even come close to the same. The fact that every single relationship in the history of mankind has had communication issues kind of proves that one, right? But it's a real thing that every human... The fact that we don't even have the same concepts of love, right? Obviously on a physical level that's true too. But on the level of how do you convince someone that... How are you convinced that someone loves you? It's different to you than it is for me, which is different to someone else. And there are patterns. When you have 7 billion humans, almost 8 billion now, like we do, you can start to clarify into broad groups again, but it still doesn't do a perfect job. And yeah, the study of why that is and what that is still kind of new. Because people like to say it's philosophy on this channel. Here's a philosophical question. Here's a really big one I genuinely don't know if I can tell you the answer to. If we could make a pill that would make people perfectly fine, if we could make them food if you love them. Man, that is a thing that's true for me. If you want me to love you, anyone here in the chat, all you gotta do, just make me some good food. Even I would say, even if it's like food that I cannot bring myself, bring me some good food. But I think making it means a lot more because it's like love and soul that goes into it. Like food is the best way to show love, to me. But if you're like a runner type that only eats for sustenance or something like that, that means nothing to you, right? Nah, not even on a physical level. Some people like being squashed. Yeah. I think if I miscommunicated, I meant like even on a physical level, it's not true. But on like we don't know how to love each other correctly. But like if we could take a pill, like if we could work out the average human being, we take every single characteristic of every single person that's ever been alive, right? If we could do that and then make the average human being, but we'll say average human being without any of the ailments, because there are lots of things that are fine, but you still would rather not be. Like, again, I think this raises some controversy, but like, in 2019, even though it's okay to be gay in most Western countries, it's okay to be gay. It's still not the same on some levels. Like, like, it would still be easier to be, to be straight just because you have more partner choices, and there are certain cases where you might be, like, disliked for that or that reason. So, there's a pill that can make you, all these things go away. Like every single major mental illness, cured. Even the just neurotypicalnesses. Every single major thing like this. If there was a pill that could take your brain and fix all of those different, like, I guess, input issues, would that be an okay thing to take? What if we made everyone that way? That's eugenics, right? That's literal. That's something that people don't like because it's a thing that's been done before. But if we could fix so much human suffering by taking a pill that changes it a little bit, would that be worthwhile? And most people say no, right? Most people say no, of course not. If there was a pill that could take away some of the things that make people unique, it's not worth it. There's currently a way, if I'm not mistaken, to basically work out if your child's going to have X or Y certain issue before they that's quite inappropriate given that I'm talking about Down syndrome, I think, most particularly. But like, there's a lot of like things you can basically choose not to have a child that will have that. Choose a different embryo to be fertilized instead. And it's like, man, that feels weird, right? Even at one point, knowing the gender of the child before you had it felt strange. And that if one day we can fix so much suffering from a child's life, and all you have to do is remove what might be one of the things. Also, again, want to clarify, not mental illnesses, mental atypicalnesses, right? Things that are not 100% of the population, or even 80%. If more than 80% of people don't do something, we could remove it from the brain. If you could take a pill that did that, then would that be a pill you'd want to take, right? Antidepressants. Yeah, let's say it could fix, because depression is a really common issue. I mean, maybe even so common that like it's a part of the human experience. If it could fix that, if it could fix times where you have, like manic episodes, times where you have, paranoia episodes. If it could fix all those sorts of things at once, would you feel okay taking that pill? Would you give that pill to your children to alleviate their suffering, knowing that it would change fundamentally who they are and how they interact with the world? Because like as an adult, like, let's say that I am 5% autistic, or because like spectrum, whatever. Like if you could remove that from yourself, would you? Is that a good thing to remove? Like, like is being, like socially unaware or being, like this or that good or bad, or I don't even know. Whoa there, this is Minecraft, buddy. I do in fact agree, this is in fact Minecraft. Why a pill and not liquid? I know people like to talk about pills when they're talking about science, because like, a pill is hard to swallow, right? Oh, that's why the phrase hard to swallow. Oh, man. But a pill is hard to swallow. That's where it, okay, anyway, so like a pill is like hard to swallow. It's not like, whereas like drinking liquid, you can mix it with your drink and kind of mix it up there. Toycat just creates the great writing prompt. Oh man, I could spend my whole day creating like fantasy worlds where like, also I hate when I taste a pill. Yeah, I take a pill maybe once every couple weeks or so. Yeah, I think, yeah, like even then sometimes not. But, and it's like every now and then it gets a little trapped in your throat and you're like, man, that's real rough, right? No one enjoys that. Daily reminder, a pill is hard to swallow. Why don't we just make easy to swallow pills? Because even when, like, I used to be so good at swallowing pills. I used to be literally the best. Like, you know, if there was a pill swallowing competition, you know, I'm don't want to brag, I would score very highly. Pills are bitter, they're disgusting. We got this chat, sub to Toy Cat. Okay, I'm gonna make a quick push now. Before anything else, before we talk about Black Mirror, before we talk about visiting realms or pills or all these sorts, because I think this is a fascinating discussion of like, is making everyone the same, you know, okay, or is that eugenics or whatever? I think that's a cool discussion that we'll hopefully come back to. But right now, you see that number up there? All I need is 48 people who are not subscribed right now. Even if you choose to unsubscribe later, honestly, I wouldn't blame you. Who wants to watch Toy Cat videos? Like, you know, he talks about lobsters. Who even likes lobsters? They're just bad insects. They're just sea insects, you know? Lobsters are just worse versions of humans. If you could have 1,000 humans or 1,000,000 lobsters, you'd pick 1,000 humans, I think. I hope. But yeah, choose to subscribe right now. Choose to make that number go slightly up. And we can hit 1.2 million. It would be wonderful. So thank you to the 27 of you who just subscribed. I just need another 23 of you. It's going to go back up. 25 of you, 23 of you. Just to be like, hey, I'm a subscriber right now. See that big number come up. And then you can see it go down. Oh, it's happening. It's happening. Oh, wait. Oh, 4 more. 7 more. 5 more. Okay, the next time it refreshes. Oh, 9898. Hey, 1.2 mil. We did it. It is so cool to hit a milestone like that. Literally, as recently as a year ago, I was making the backup contingency plans for like, okay, we'll do YouTube part-time, we'll pursue this as like the thing. You know, that like we're basically, you know, like the YouTube channel had stalled for a really long time. We were stuck on 800,000 for the longest time. And the fact that literally a year after, you know, wondering if it was all over, we've gone from like hitting milestone after milestone, and people are loving, enjoying the videos, the streams. That feels cool to me. Thank you to anyone who subscribed. If you subscribed and you feel like unsubscribing, feel free to. It's cool. I get it. I appreciate you fulfilling my little ego trip right there. It made me feel good for a bit, and you know, like if now you've done your bit, you can feel free to do the opposite. Thank you so much anyway, though. Also, if we remove some kinds of suffering, new ones will emerge. For example, remove hunger and obesity emerges. Oh, I totally want to discuss this. Okay, chat. Someone remind me to come back to this. But also super chats equals remember me. Sorry, I broke now. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of finish off my little thing and say, yeah, it's super cool. It means so much to me. And on the internet, saying it means so much to me, it's just what people say is like the default template. Like reading off the script means so much to me, guys. Thank you. Make sure to buy my merch or whatever. That's what people, you know, say. Like they use your emotions about, you know, they use their positive emotions as a chance to sell something. I'm not selling you something. I can even sell you on the unsubscribe from Toy Cat. You know, why even be subscribed to me in the first place? What do you really gain from it? That's I'm fine with doing that. But I do appreciate that many people have decided they liked the channel at least some amount at some point. And it's cool. It's cool. So yeah, 1.2 million subscribers. We did it. It's cool. And the fact that we did like, I don't know how many in the last like hour alone, but I want to say it was like, it was some number of hundreds. That's cool too, right? That's cool. I mean, it's what I think is cool. Okay, so basically, let's dive into the interesting question from Scoob Dude, who says, if we remove some kinds of suffering, new ones will emerge. For example, remove hunger and obesity emerges. And I think that's the point that I was kind of raising with all of that. You know, the Karl Marx theory of the disconnection between labor and productivity and work and stuff. And it's you know, it's the whole principles behind the communist movement, or the Marxist communist movement. But it's interesting because it is just raising the simple point in question. Also, this is the second ice mining stream I've watched. That is 2 ice mining streams too many, but thank you for choosing to do it anyway. But yeah, one of the things that I absolutely love is that like humans are progressing so much so fast, and we're gonna make a lot of missteps. But by making a lot of missteps, we guarantee the steps can be faster. Something that I don't know if is just humans or if is part of just natural life on Earth. Thank you, Dare Daryl, by the way, for the $2 super chat. But one of the things that seems like a natural part of nature is that we, instead of just working out, like in a, when you're working out something in your personal life, in your brain, you're like, I'll work out the perfect path to success, and I'll only do that. In nature, and as a species, the way we seem to do things is like, okay, do literally everything, do 100 different ideas, 99 will fail, or 90 will fail, 5 will be mildly successful, 4 will be really successful, and 1 will change the way that, humans live our life. Think about before smartphones, there were so many stupid ideas that sounded just as stupid. Like, smartphones sounded stupid. Like, your phone, but it's the internet, and it's got a touchscreen. Who wants a touchscreen phone? No one wanted a touchscreen phone back then. When touchscreen phones were first out, you're like, this is dumb, this is stupid. Now it's a part of your life, and phones have gone to the stage where the internet part of the phone has replaced the phone part of the phone. It's insane, it's crazy, right? And if you went back to the time before the smartphone was invented, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is stupid, alongside the idea of like, it's a skateboard that's also a scooter. That's not going to catch on. Although years later that turns into the e-scooter design. The things we do as humans is we create a bunch of problems at the same time as solving them. And we've just accelerated the way we do that over the last 100 years. And I hope that we can fix the problems we've been slowly causing. The big debate really... Oh, by the way, let's get in our boat. Let's ride that over to where we're going. But, yep, you're so good. Rather watch you than sleep, says Louise Palmer. That means a lot to me. Thank you very much, Louise. Or Lewis. Man, the name Lewis/Louise, I just have no clue sometimes. I'm gonna get the creeper in the boat. No, that's a terrible idea. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, let's just get right over here. I love boats, by the way. If you've never ridden a boat on packed ice or blue ice, it's amazing. I'm an SJW. You're destroying the earth. I can't believe you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did that to you. Smartphone's the greatest invention of humanity. It plays a part in our daily life, right? But at the same time, despite the fact that a smartphone's changed so much for the better, like now if you want a fact, you can get it instantly. If you want entertainment, you can get it instantly. But smartphones have also done a lot of terrible things for life, like the fact that I think sleep quality has gone significantly down since smartphones, because we know it's a fact. Like blue light makes you unable to sleep. All phones emit blue light, and they're also like addictive in that way. Like sleep quality's gone way down in the last 10 years as an aggregate. So like on the one hand, we're way smarter when we're awake. We're way better at conversations and discussions and all these sorts of things. But at the same time, as removing this, we also add a bunch of problems. We added the lack of ability to sleep well. We added additivity, and people are way worse at in-person social interactions sometimes. Because also, Keller Shepherd says, the problem with removing all problems is that you end up removing part of the human experience. You would change everything and not for the better. Yeah, in my opinion, that is one of the fundamental, not differences, but one of the fundamental kind of points that is maybe up for debate as to like, if you could fix every issue in the world for everyone, would you? And the answer seems like it should be yes. Because in your own life, you're trying to fix issues, but trying to fix those issues is a part of life. It's kind of this, what's the word? Like, it's kind of a paradox in a way, right? You're trying to fix, your whole life is about trying to fix things, but also it doesn't necessarily make sense to fix things for other people, because fixing those things is part of the human experience. And yeah, a lot of people, their favorite thing to fix is other people's things, and therefore, like, is that part of their job to do that? It's this endless debate we have as humanity that we have over and over again, and it's not too useful. Also, Christian says that Elon Musk says that smartphones are. Also, how did you get in there? Are a extension of your brain. I 100% agree. In the modern world, the way we use phones, I would say it is more valuable to have access to someone's phone if they don't know you're gonna have access to it than someone's thoughts. I think if you could read someone's mind, they'd be better able to avoid your questions than if you have their phone. Generic question, what's your favorite wood in Minecraft? I think acacia. I think this bright orange wood. It's just beautiful. Makes good boats, makes good houses, makes good everything. But the thing in fixing all problems would also delete death, and therefore experience, although minimum, would be eternal. Oh, this is another big debate. Like, should life end? And because, like, we've kind of got this bias in our head that because life... It's the same thing with suffering, right? We think the suffering is inherent in the human experience. it's only inherent because it's always been inherent. Like, if we removed suffering, maybe that would be better. Maybe, you know, we'd create our own forms of suffering, but they'd be better than real suffering. And in the same way, we think that life needs to be a fixed amount of time. But we only think that because we live a fixed amount of time, I think. I don't know if life would be better without death. Personally, I'm not in favor of a life without death. I'm terrified by the fact that I live 80 years. Honestly, sometimes I'm like, besides when it comes to like I would say like money-wise, my plan is to like, you know, eventually be a vampire. Like, if I could live for 500 years, I know I could be insanely rich by year 200. Besides the fact that by the time you're 80, you're usually very rich. That's like, it's just a fact. Old people accumulate wealth. I think besides being wealthy and old, there is this real problem that like, man, 80 is way too old. Like, I'm terrified that there is 56 more years of like existence that is basically mandatory. Because there's a lot of good that comes from having to live so long. There's also a lot of like, what am I going to fill that time with? Because over those 56 years, it'd be fine if it's like, oh yeah, you live exactly how you are now for 56 years. I could maybe question that. But I'm going to lose abilities over those 56 years. I'm going to lose my, you know, my passion for going to so many places. My ability to travel in super, you know, like, dehumid, what's the word? Like, unhumid? Whatever, the, you know, like, bad situations that, you know, hurt older people but don't hurt me. There's all these things that I'm going to slowly lose, and it's like, that's the thing. Wait, what you get rich when you get old says private account. Actually not. Okay, here's a common fact that isn't common knowledge. Let me knowledge on you, everyone. A lot of people, because, you know, like, there are definitely rich people who are not old, and there are old people who are not rich. Those two categories are real, but the more common thing than either is that, when you're young, you are generally not worth much. Unless you have parents, or you had grandparents that died, you got inheritance, or you win the lottery, and that's, you know, that's only a few percent of people. 95% of young people are poor in terms of cash. You know, like, you might have support from the family that equals a few hundreds or thousand, but most young people start on the same footing of not having money. And because money builds money, you know, like, in the capitalist society that we all live in, money can build money. Like, if you put 1,000 in the bank today, it's worth what, like, in 40 years, even at like a low percent, it's worth quite a few thousands more. And then when you consider the fact that you can put 1,000 a month aside, or like, let's say 100 a month even. Also, thank you for the super chat, Grant Munio. Basically, old people accumulate wealth, especially because, you know, like, it used to be that your work used to pay that money, so you didn't have to think about it. And also, physical items like houses accumulate value. The older you get, the more money you have. It's very rare not to follow that trend. You know, again, it happens, but it's the exception, not the rule. So yeah, being old means you generally get money. Especially there's lots of tax advantages to give money to future you. The whole, really, I guess, like, concept of society, like, is that happens. And therefore, like, when you're talking about rich people and poor people, you're not necessarily just, like, when you're talking about billionaires, you're usually not talking about a 90-year-old. But still, most billionaires aren't 20. It's quite a recent phenomenon that you get, what, Mark Zuckerberg turned into a billionaire at 30-something. What's the name? The person in the Kardashians is a millionaire at 23, I want to say, or 21. Really, really young. Yeah, it's like, that's a fairly recent phenomenon, because technology can accelerate your ability to earn. It's in some cases. It's, again, this is a new thing we have to deal with. Like, Silicon Valley in particular, part of America, but like, technology as a whole has accelerated your potential ability to earn. If I was born 30 years ago, I'd been screwed. I've said this before, but I would say I'm very motivated by money. The reason I think it's so cool when people donate money, or, you know, like, even just like make me food, or like, you know, buy me food, or whatever it is. It's like, you gave some of your material resources, your limited material resources, to me. That means you care about a thing. Again, like, don't ask me why it's true. It is just a fact that it's true. I'm, you know, it's not some weird donation pandering thing. But even if it was, the fact that I would feel the need to pander for donations by lying about the fact that I appreciate money would prove the fact that I am extra motivated by money, right? Like, I think money is a big motivating factor to me. And before the internet, I would have had to find someone who needed like a child's labor. Like what is my labor worth? Like, you know, I'm not in China. I can't make clothes or something. But because of the internet, I think I've said this before, but I started, you know, I started a job at like 13, basically. I started my own website, my whole entire company, selling ads at 13. The fact that that was possible, that's insane. That's cool. The fact that I could start writing for major, you know, game reviews, news website. The fact that that was a thing I could do. I was a head writer at a tech blog, admittedly like a clickbait tech blog, but like that was a thing I was for some time. Oh, did I ever tell you? This is the coolest thing to me. But the last job I did before YouTube, where I worked again, it's like a large tech blog. Like it was usually the first thing that would come up if you search something on Google. Like the guy who hired me, the guy who paid me, etc. Like found my YouTube years later and was like, man, it's cool. Like you're like a big thing now. And I thought that was really cool. Like it's like, he lived in Indonesia, and I didn't think he really knew me. He was just like giving me some money every now and then. But yeah, the fact that it is possible now with the internet for anyone to accelerate their own things means we have billionaires at age 23. Is that a problem for society? Like, how does your life go forwards if you become a billionaire at 23? Like, how do you deal with that? Because it sounds like a blessing, right? A billion at 23, now the world is your oyster. Well, I mean, what most people go into a billions, is something to improve the world, as to their opinion. Like, you know, to Mark Zuckerberg, that's giving Facebook to India for some reason. You know, to a guy like Bill Gates, it's like curing malaria. But like everyone focuses on philanthropy or you know, some cause that's greater than them, because you can't spend that money yourself. That is actually a burden. It's, you know, it's significantly reduced by all these other burdens. And also it's the fact that like, so, you know, is that a thing that is, you know, normal? Is that something that they earn, or is that something that they take from everyone else? These are big discussions that we don't really know. You know, people claim they like to know it because everyone likes to claim that they know how the world works and everyone else is wrong. But you know, like it's part of the problems, but also the solutions and the beauty of the one world. I don't think you're being destructive enough. Start a nuclear war, please. Now that is a good idea. Let's start a nuclear war. Let's just bomb the entire desert, fix the problem that way. And I mean, it's not a desert. Oh wait, technically speaking, this is a desert because it doesn't rain. I want to say. That is technically true. Mark Zuckerberg is a lizard. Why is there so many messages saying that? Yeah, no, it's kind of a wacky thing in that way. Next job for Toycat, mines the entire farmlands. That's actually a cool idea. I don't think you can actually mine at the farmlands. Is Notch still a billionaire? How much of the 2 billion does he have left? If I had to guess, I would say Notch is likely not a billionaire. So bear in mind that of the 2.5 billion, he split it 3 ways, like not perfectly 3 ways, but like some of that money went to his co-founders. So Notch was always worth 1 point something. He got 1 point something billion. Then bear in mind, in Sweden, there are very high tax rates when you get that high. So he was probably worth a little bit less than 1 billion to begin with. And then he bought a mansion worth, what, 100 million in LA? And like, yeah. It's kind of sad that he's not happy with that, but yeah, does Notch still have 2.5 billion? I don't think he ever had the 2.5. I don't think he's officially a billionaire anymore. I think if you count his assets, i.e. like, he probably has, you know, like, his 100 million house plus his money, he's probably somewhere near the billion range. But if I had to guess, I would say he's probably not a billionaire. But again, I don't know how much Notch has spent on various things. You know, if you're his financial advisor, you could probably make a pretty good guess. But as a random person on the internet, I can just say, you know what? This Notch guy sounds suspicious. So, Cat, why not burn the entire forest if you're making global warming worse? Fun fact, I actually did that already. Checkmate, took your idea, did it in the past. Go me. Also, I'm going to destroy the rest of this iceberg now. I just, like, we left half an iceberg here and it's kind of weird. Let's get rid of it. This is nice and easy. Can turn it into snowballs. It'll be great. Does anyone know how to get free donations of YouTube Premium? I think they stopped the trial now. Wait, chat. If you have YouTube Premium, you don't have to give it to me, but I'd appreciate if you did. Try and give me a free super chat. And if you can't, tell me that in the chat now. By the way, YouTube Premium is like a godsend to people on YouTube. If you don't know, like, it used to be kind of half and half. But now, like, if you do one thing for every YouTuber you watch, like, if you don't want to give me, you know, like, you don't want to buy, I don't know, my Toycat t-shirts. They do exist, by the way. Shirts.ibxtoycat.com. But if you don't want to buy, like, a t-shirt, you don't want to do anything like that, or donate super chat because you think that's rough, buy YouTube Premium because it basically makes your view worth 2 to 3 times as much. It's really great. Toycat is a time traveler confirmed. It is in fact true. He's worth 1.6 billion. Man, I'm gonna have to find the again right now. I can't disagree with people who say nah he's worth 2 billion because it's like well, I mean I can't disprove you, so I mean I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But again, he did split the money with 2 other people, and they didn't have all of it, but they had a lot. I have premium, says you farted. Was that a free super chat with premium? I'm gonna assume so, or maybe he's just saying I have premium and I didn't get one. I'm on a free trial right now. It probably isn't on the free trial, if I had to guess. Because YouTube's already paying every creator you watch a certain amount. So, yeah, that's a thing. Could honestly imagine making a fun game for your friends to enjoy and then suddenly becoming a billionaire. Yeah, like I said, like, even though it's not necessarily a good thing to become really rich really fast. I think that it's only possible in the tech world. Like, previously, if Notch started, like, you know, in the 50s before video games, if Notch started a factory where he made really nice Swedish chairs, he might become a billionaire in 30 years. But he became a billionaire in how many years? Like 2009 to 2014. It took 5 years for Minecraft to go from being a pet project that 4 people on a forum played to being something he could sell for 2.5 billion. That's a new thing. That is something we did not have before. And yeah, it's kind of a fascinating thing because it's, again, a lot of people like to say it's like a bad thing, but I think it's just fascinating. Like, you know, you can do a lot of good with that money, or arguably a lot better than maybe a billion people would do with $1 each. Like, I would actually, if I was a billionaire, like multi-billionaire, I guess, I would love to do the experiment. Give $1 million to one person, no context. Give $1 to 1 million people. I guess it costs a lot of money to follow the 1 million people around. See the difference that it makes? Because I would argue the net happiness added to the world is more to give $1 million to one person than to give $1 to 1 million people, right? Chat, do you agree with that, actually? Like, net happiness, don't count, you know, like, the indirect financial benefits of an extra dollar. But I think if you gave $1 million to one person, it would count way more than $1 to 1 million people, right? I'm doubling down on that one. I think it's true now, right? Like, it seems like it'd be true. And obviously there's a better number in between. Like, I think 1,000 to 1,000 people would be the best net happiness. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, okay, so I'm not crazy on this one. Like, every now and then I say something, people are like, whoa, Toy Cat, what's that all about? And I'm like, what? Okay, you know, that's a thing people disagree with, apparently. So, again, I think the ideal number is somewhere in between. Like, if I had to guess, I'd say 5,000 to 2,000 people would be the best distribution. But, yeah, the fact that, like, I wonder how it scales up to 1 billion, you know, like, give 1 billion to one person. Because I think at some stage, you reach a point where money becomes a burden again. I don't know what the stage genuinely would become. But, yeah, and I don't know how we, like, I don't know if that is something that they think of as a problem. Like, I've never even considered that I might be a billionaire, you know? Like, when I was younger, I used to think, like, you know, my goal in life is to become a richer person. Again, like I said, I'm very motivated by money. Like, you can hate me for that if you like. But, I'd always love it if, you know, I'd be the richest person. You know, there's a rich list published every year, and money's great. So I'd love to be at the top of that list one day. And obviously, like, it's basically an impossible task. You know, because just like, in the same way that like being the best human at any one task is near impossible with so many humans. And when that task also has like various different, you know, like challenges associated with it. But I do wonder like, I wonder if you could work out the net happiness to that one individual. I wonder if we could, yeah, again, if you can quantify happiness, which we'll have to assume you can for the sake of this argument. Like, how much do you take away from them at the same time? Because you clearly add more than you remove, but how much do you add? I don't agree there's a limit to the happiness one person can achieve. I think it's less than 1 million people. I think it's less than 1 million people and they only get $1. I don't know, like, how many people are actually made happier by $1, though? Because one of the big points, one of the big interesting things, is that so much of the world, again, economics, fairly recent study, so we're still discovering new things all the time. One of the things that again, if I was ever gonna, like, I'm not going to, but if I was ever gonna, like, if I was gonna do, like, a PhD, add something to the economic knowledge, one of the things that's just objectively true is that money is an indirect motivator for most people, but it's not a big motivator for everyone. Like, I realized when I was young, like, again, I am a lot more affected by, you know, like, I don't know, the price of something, or like the benefit I get from doing something. I've you know, like, I've overworked myself at the expense of, you know, gaining money sometimes in my life before, and that's something, you know, I'm super motivated in that way. A lot of people just go, you know, I don't need money. I don't need this. I don't need that. And one of the things we don't really account for is that, yeah, some people, I think there are some people, I don't know how many, if you gave them $1 million, they'd be like, cool. And I think there's a lot of people that if you give them $1, it literally, they don't even think of it as a different. They might even be offended by that. They might be like, you think I need this? Why you might genuinely make a lot of people, I don't know how many, sadder. And that's because money and psychology have this really weird interaction together, where money is both, we think of money as this purely financial separate world, but it ties into your psychology all the time. That's why, you know, that's why the pricing at 99 cents, it works on people. When you see something that's $2.83, you think of it as $2, not as $3. Like, it's closer to free, but your brain, yeah, psychology. We know for a fact that's why anchoring works, right? When you go to the cinema, the movie theater for Americans here, you know, $4 is so much to pay for popcorn, or $7, I don't know what it is. But if you see small, $7, medium, $7.50, large, $8, you're like, man, small is a ripoff, but large is really good compared to the small. Like, you can entirely change people's perceptions of prices with how you present them to them. And that is something that is fascinating to me. Because then it also goes true that, like, again, $1 is objectively a good thing, but some people would be like, yeah, like, Ruin Chat says, more money is more taxes. So, Cat, if you gave me $1, I'd be happy. I wouldn't care about the dollar. I would care about you giving it to me. But, I mean, like, if someone gives you $1, what do you assume from that? Like, right? Like, why $1? That, it doesn't actually solve any life problem. It doesn't even come close to solving one, right? Like, you can buy, what, you know, I don't actually know what you can buy with $1, because it's less than £1. But, like, £1 to me means it's such a tiny unit that when you go below it, you know, like $1 is worth less than £1. It's worth about 77 pence. But it's like, so why this? Why now? It feels weird, you know. If someone said, hey, I'm a billionaire, I'm giving 1 million people $1, you'd take it, and then you'd never think about it again. It'd go in your wallet, and it'd go somewhere. $1 would mean a lot to a homeless person. Okay, so this is the last thing I'm going to say today. I think this is definitely controversial thoughts of Toy Cat time. I think that genuinely, I think that if you gave $1 to, let's say, 1 million homeless people around the world, I think you might cause more. I mean, homeless people. Like, I guess if you could work out homeless from homeless or whatever, but I think if you could do a lot of damage by giving money to people. In the same way that I think there's a certain amount of money you can give to someone that makes it a burden. There's also some people for whom money management isn't a good thing. Let me tell you, okay, so I had a friend at one point who was very mentally ill. He went on to do many horrendous things. Won't name him. But like early on the YouTube days, I had a friend who literally wished someone could control all of his money, all that stuff for him, because he hated the burden that came along with it. When he got money, no more lukewarm talks of Toy Cat. Like, it blew my mind, but it was a dude who literally, he started throwing money to strangers. Like, he started literally, you know, withdrawing, I was going to say euros, but I guess I'd give away that he was in the Eurozone. Like, he withdrew a currency of his choice, the dollar, let's pretend, and he just started giving it away. He got crazy addicted to many expensive things. And that was because money is a form of if you don't benefit from the ups of money, it can be just a down. And I think there are some people, you know, like coming back to the motivation thing, who genuinely don't benefit from the up. Like right now, beep beep, I'm a sheep. I just read that for the first time. Beep beep, I'm a sheep just gave me $1.99 and said you is cool. To me, I know that even though I don't have an immediate use for that $1.99, you know, like you know, that I'm not going to use it to buy food today, tomorrow, or in the direct near future. I don't know what that money will go to be used for, but I know that regardless, you know, that will one day buy me a thing. To some people, it's like, so it doesn't help me in the short term. It doesn't make me feel good because I've got enough zeros in my bank account, or whatever they say to themselves. You know, some people who might have a lot. And then it's like, so it's just a burden. It's something I have to work out what to do with because, you know, money does take management. You have to manage money. And that's crazy. That's really, really kind of crazy. Also, Monkey Boy says it's 20 past 1 a.m. Yeah, it's pretty late. I need to be sleeping somewhat soon. And I think we're close enough now to destroying the last of these icebergs that we can say, like, next time, we're doing all of this, right? Next time we stream, every single one of these icebergs is going down. Also, wait, I only just spotted this right now. Sorry, you know what? It's the end of the stream. Thank you for coming along. But before I say all of that, because I just spotted this right now, I have a little desert well at the very edge of the desert there. Huh. Isn't that nice? It adds bit by bit here in the streams rather than just getting $1 randomly. Yeah, it's funny because I used to hate the concept of every little helps. Like, no, it doesn't. But literally during the course of today's stream, I'll read out a few examples. Kayla Shepherd, and David Slayers and David Darrell and Lord Meow Sambo and Jay Loudermilk gave an average of $2 to $5, which by itself is nice. Like, that one of those paid for my McDonald's earlier. Got the chicken legend, was great. With some melons, because you can get melons in the UK. Anyway, weird thing, but you know, like all these random things. But over the course of that, I think that's like $100, and after YouTube takes their cut, it's like 70. It's like, huh? Isn't that kind of nuts? Isn't that wild that all of that is like real? That all of those tiny things, you know, people giving a small amount turn into like, oh yeah, so I can earn some late night money that I don't know, I'll do something fun with it. I don't know what. Would I go to Little Caesar? Also, there is a drowned trapped under the ice. That is the most terrifying thing. Is that meant to be a thing? Are they meant to spawn under there, or is that a weird coincidence? I want McDonald's melons. I don't know why it's a thing. Like, it's like instead of fries, you can get melons with your meal. Again, my friend looked at me and said, why would you get them instead of fries? And, you know, I did feel quite silly afterwards. But, McMelons. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's live stream. Actually, not one more thing before we go, because this bugs me. Let's get these little icebergs up here. Let's take them down a notch. Down a notch. It's clever because it's Minecraft. No! Okay. Actually, I probably should scaffold up rather than doing this. That probably makes more sense than wasting. Okay, let's do this. Drop. Oh, nailed it. Okay, we're just gonna take. This has been annoying me for a little bit, so let's just like. There we go. Look at that. It's all gone, and it's done now. Okay. Snowball this. Snowball this. Hey! Oh, God. We did it. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching today's live stream. Hope you had a wonderful stream. Things are going super well with me these days, and hitting 1.2 million was a nice part of that. Thank you to anyone who decided to subscribe during the course of today's stream. Thank you to anyone who's just watched the video in general, because it's really helped. Again, what is to me one of the most insane things that I still don't know how to cope with. Again, no, I'm trying to end the stream, but I've got a thought, so I'm gonna get the thought out. But like, YouTube success is really cool, and then it's also like, man, we've got so much of it. I don't even know how to cope with it, deal with it, think about it, and it's like the fact that that's the case is cool, and it's because of you. Thank you for making it true. Thank you for watching. Have a nice evening. Whatever you decide to do, because I'm going to go to sleep because it's 1:30 a.m. Goodbye.